looks like a kind of civil war is brewing inside the MAGA movement, and it is all happening right out in the open. We're going to take a look at this clash between two really prominent figures because, well, it reveals some deep cracks in what a lot of people thought was a totally united front. Let's get into it.
Think of it like a high-stakes game of political twister. You've got this fractured map of allies and rivals, and everyone's trying to hold their position. One wrong move, and the whole thing could just collapse.
And we're not just talking about a simple disagreement here. No. This is being framed as a full-on Julius Caesar moment. We're talking public accusations, claims of backstabbing, the kind of stuff that turns former allies into sworn enemies. So this really gets to the heart of the question we're digging into. When your entire movement is built on this idea of fierce loyalty, what happens when the members themselves start pointing fingers at each other? It really forces you to look a lot closer at the fractures that might be forming just under the surface.
Okay, to really understand this fight, you have to know the players involved. And believe me, this is a true clash of personalities.
So on one side, you've got Laura Loomer. She's a self-styled investigative journalist who's really known for her scorched earth style of online activism. And on the other side, you've got Marjorie Taylor Greene, a US congresswoman who actually holds institutional power in Washington. Both are huge voices in the very same movement, which is exactly what makes their public fight so explosive. So what kicked this whole thing off? What was the spark? Well, it all started with a call for transparency on a subject that is, let's just say, highly sensitive. And that flashpoint was the Epstein files. Now, this is the term for all the documents and info connected to the late Jeffrey Epstein. Demanding their full release has become this major rallying cry for activists who are convinced they hold some pretty explosive secrets. Okay, so here's the crucial point. Congresswoman Greene goes public and demands that these files be released. Now, on the surface, that seems like a totally standard move, right? A politician siding with her base's desire for transparency. But this is exactly where the story takes a very sharp turn. And that brings us right to the core of the analysis from our source material. And it's a deep and frankly pretty surprising irony. So instead of supporting that call for transparency, Laura Loomer, who, remember, calls herself an investigative journalist, went on the attack against Greene for making it. It was a completely counterintuitive move. Just stunning, really. And this just perfectly illustrates the central contradiction here. I mean, you'd normally expect a journalist to champion any call for more information, not condemn it. This bizarre reversal is what makes this whole feud so noteworthy. It's exactly what our source material points to as a key sign of a much deeper issue at play. Look, this isn't just about two personalities clashing online. This public fight, it's like a window into the internal health of the whole movement. So, what can we actually learn from it? So, what are the big takeaways here? Well, this feud shows that loyalty within the movement is constantly being tested, and these alliances, they can be incredibly fragile. These public spats aren't just about the issue of the day, they're actually windows into these much deeper power struggles and personal rivalries that are driving the whole thing. And all of that leaves us with this final really critical question. When a movement prides itself on being anti-establishment, on being full of these independent rebels, the lines of loyalty, they get really blurry. This conflict between Loomer and Greene is a perfect case study of that exact dilemma. It forces us to ask, who gets to define loyalty? And what happens when the answer is different for everyone?